And they go out, and the race gets underway. It's a pretty even start from the two on the front. It's a great start from the second row of the grid by Matt Hipkins, though. And Paul Clark's made an even better start in the 182 and leads the race going into Clervaux Corner. I'm not even sure what row of the grid he was on.
He was 8th on the grid.
He's 8th on the grid into the lead by Clervaux Corner. Paul Clark, little Clarky, in the little lime green 182 leads the way. It's Matt Hipkins from the second row of the grid that's up into second place, I think. And third is Chris Lawrence. So it's a complete jumbling of the order as they head down towards Tower Corner for the first time.
Yeah, both Ransom and O'Connor are slow here, aren't they? Ransom is losing positions now. He was 7th or 8th. Anyway, big dive up the inside from Josh North into Tower to get third away from Chris Lawrence. But Paul Clark at the venue, where I think he's got his only car racing victory, which was in low cost a couple of years ago, leads the race overall with the most mega start you will see from row 4 of the grid. And he's pulling away at this stage, isn't he, from Matt Hipkins, Josh North and Chris Lawrence, who contest Class B.
Started on the back yesterday, didn't he, for the first race due to a technical issue in qualifying. But it's Paul Clark leading, it's Matt Hipkins second, Josh North in third, Chris Lawrence in fourth, Steve Richardson is fifth. We thought he and Greg Hill might be contesting the lead of Class A, but they're not, because Paul Clark's not only in front of Class A, he's in front of the whole field as they head down to the complex for the first time. Here they come, turning the way through left and then right, and then left again at the hairpin. And it's Hipkins that is leading the chase, leading his class, of course, as well in Class B in the 197s. More modern cars, but also the heavier cars as well, 1,205 kilos compared to 1,070. Over the line at the end of lap 1 then. It is Clark, number 82, that leads. 12, Matt Hipkins is second. 35, Josh North is third. Then it's Chris Lawrence, 56, in fourth. Stephen Richardson is fifth in number 7. And Pete O'Connor is sixth in 72. What of Darren Ransom? He is across the line in 12th place, having started on pole.
And the car's very slow in a straight line, so there's something very wrong with his car. And I think that's what held Pete O'Connor and Greg Hill back. They've fallen a long way down the order. That sort of added to why we had a jumbled order. How Paul Clark passed all the people on his side of the grid is a different story, and he's staying ahead of Hipkins and North. North was very bold down at Tower 1 lap ago. This time it's Hipkins who was looking to the inside. Josh North's just going to drive around the outside of the pair of them. An absolutely outstanding move there, around the outside of 2 cars at Tower Corner for Josh North to take the lead of the race.
Great stuff, that. I don't think they saw him coming there, and it looks like he's already trying to get away. He's already pulled out a few car lengths over Paul Clark as they head through the Jim Clark S's on this. Only the second lap of the race, of course. It's North now leading, Clark second, Hipkins third, Lawrence in fourth position. Lawrence, the 2023 champion in the Clios, of course. O'Connor now ahead of Steve Richardson there as they make their way through.
Richardson stepped aside rather kindly there, it appeared, from the shot that we saw. Here comes Chris Lawrence. He's having a better race at this point, isn't he? Round the outside of Hipkins. Can he get that to stick? It looks like he might. Paul Clark is just trying to hang on, wondering what to do about these cars that are in different class either side of him at this stage, down towards the hairpin. But yeah, Chris Lawrence has got past Matt Hipkins. He's trying to get past Paul Clark as well, and he won't be able to make that work. He's lost a lot of time on the exit of the corner, actually, and Matt Hipkins fights back, and Pete O'Connor is catching them all. But this will mean Josh North has got a very big lead up front now.
3 seconds virtually, and he wasn't in the lead. He was third at the start of the lap. He was 3 seconds in the lead at the end of it. Chris Lawrence upon the inside of Matt Hipkins. He gets to third now, and O'Connor's not far behind Hipkins either. So the race war went at Hipkins going backwards now. Might lose another position to Pete O'Connor before too much longer.
Starting to look rather likely we're going to have 3 different winners again at Croft like we did a year ago.
Yeah, I would say so. Because yes, any of the first 3 at the moment would be a different winner, wouldn't they, from yesterday? And Josh North now has got quite a big lead, so you kind of think this might be his to lose as things stand. It has.
So he won't be counting on anything, I don't think, until this race is done. He can just drive his own race up front. The driver from Shropshire in the ex-Andrew Harding car. Here's the great tussle for second place. Paul Clark still in second overall, isn't he, here? And he's got a nice gap over Steve Richardson. There's 3 other cars between himself and his class rival. But he doesn't want to be held up by these cars when they try and find a way through. Chris Lawrence is having his best race of the weekend. The 2023 champion now draws up alongside Paul Clark, equally behind Pete O'Connor, the 2024 champion. He draws up alongside Matt Hipkins. Lawrence right round the outside of Clark. He does it. O'Connor's going to try and get 2. That's not quite going to work. So Matt Hipkins will fight back. Paul Clark's just hoping no one drives into the back of him, I think, at this stage, isn't he? With these 197 and 200 Clios around him, and it gets all a bit tight at the hairpin. Matt Hipkins has not quite come past. Peter O'Connor's going to try and make it 3 cars up towards Clairvaux.
And Paul Clark is soon going to be under threat from Steve Richardson as well for the 182 class lead, because there's now less than a second between them as well, I think, as they came across the line that time. Josh North is 4.5 seconds to the good.
Hipkins was massively sideways to go around the outside of Clark, but he made it work. He's up to 3rd.
Yeah, he is indeed. So Clark down to 4th position, and now there's only Pete O'Connor between himself and Steve Richardson. Look, Clark in the green car with the yellow bumpers, and 2 cars behind him is Steve Richardson, now the winner of the class in both of yesterday's races, and for the father of last year's 182 champion, Lewis Richardson. There is Lawrence in 2nd place now, Hipkins 3rd, Clark 4th, O'Connor 5th, and Richardson in 6th spot.
Interesting, within Class A, the fastest driver is Taylor Norton, who's 6th within the class. You've got Witherington, haven't you? Not very far behind Richardson too, and Joey DePrato, who's come through from 14th on the grid, so he's in contention. Class A very much to be contested. Interestingly, Matt Hipkins not getting away from Paul Clark here, who's got Pete O'Connor diving down the inside of him. That's sort of hurt Clark's line, but good news for Paul Clark, he's got a bigger margin now than he did over Steve Richardson a few moments ago.
Just keeping an eye on Joshua North's car as it's coming in. He's got a big lead. I just wonder if there might be some bodywork rubbing on a tyre there, so we'll keep an eye on that as out of our commentary box windows, watching Hipkins there in 3rd position come through. He does now have O'Connor trying to get alongside him almost into the hairpin. That's the fight for 3rd and 4th position now, as Chris Lawrence has managed to get away a little bit from those two. Can O'Connor try and get alongside now as they head down to Clairvaux corner? If he can, he'll put him on the outside line. He dives back into the toe of the number 12 car, Matt Hipkins, as they head down to Clairvaux. Doesn't look like he's going to make a move at that part of the circuit, but now that means you've got the 2 Class A leaders together.
Well, it's not just 2, it's 6 of them separated by 3 seconds, so Paul Clark has got a long line of cars that would quite like to win the class here, but yeah, Steve Richardson, the championship leader, is the first of those. But Pete O'Connor unable to get past Matt Hipkins as of yet, so the 2 drivers that had various problems yesterday are the top 2 overall, aren't they? Josh North and Chris Lawrence, almost 6 seconds between them now. But if we look in the background, we will see that Class A battle being led by Paul Clark, but only just over Steve Richardson, who was a little bit quicker out the corner. There's Josh North, miles ahead seemingly. There's Lawrence, 2nd. 3rd is Hipkins. 4th is O'Connor. Then the Class A, the Clio 182s, being headed by Paul Clark, with Steve Richardson right on his bumper.
Yeah, so that's just behind this couple of cars there. There's the battle for 2nd and 3rd overall. O'Connor chasing after 3rd and 4th, I should say. O'Connor chasing after Hipkins, but the cars just behind, probably the ones that we want to watch at the moment, because we've got 82 Paul Clark and 7 Steve Richardson right together. Still 3rd and 4th very much under dispute though, and a bit more of a gap actually for Paul Clark as they arrive at the complex, I can tell you, to the tune of 2 car lengths.
Where's Witherington gone from behind them? He was 3rd.
That's a good question. It looks like he's disappeared, so whether he's had enough. We've now got a safety car board being shown, which is probably not unconnected. He's gone wide and off the circuit at post 12, which I think is up at Sunny. So probably I can see it now on our CCTV actually,
here, on our screen,
and on our
He's
screen.
lost the rear left wheel, hasn't he?
Yes. So I don't know where that's ended up. Hopefully that's not caused anyone any dramas, more than for Mark Witherington, but his car in a dangerous position, so the officials, with 6 minutes of the race to go, have decided that a safety car is required. That's a real shame, because it was a really exciting race. We'll see if we do get any more racing laps in, but I was just thinking as that race was going on, I think this might be one of the most exciting weekends we've ever had in the VSG Crypto Clio Sport Championship.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes it's been very, very close, but quite static, but certainly this race has been nothing static about it, has there? So many positions traded. David Redshaw is pitting now as well. He's been further down the order than you might expect in this race.
He's had a couple of moments, I think, where he sort of spun and continued and then pulled off and continued, so possibly not well with the car, and that would seem to be the case given that he's headed into pit lane.
Of course, Josh North is going to be pretty frustrated with all of this, because he led by 6 seconds.
He did.
Which was very dominant once he got to the front. Round the outside of 2 cars at Tower, remember, so that was pretty mighty, wasn't it? I don't think the safety car picked him up here, did he? So he's doing a good job to slow everyone down so the pace is reduced for the field, and they're all bunched up already, so he's doing the job of the safety car at the moment. Josh North looking for his first victory overall in the VSG Crypto Clio Sport Championship. Paul Clark looking for his first class victory as well, I think, in Class A. Of course, we had Matt Hipkins taking his first victory yesterday, so there's lots of thirst going on here, isn't there, this weekend in the Clios?
Yeah, just hearing that the wheel did just part company with Mark Witherington's car, which has left it stricken on the sidelines there. I don't think there's any contact, at least not at that point involved. You never know, there may have been something earlier on that that has caused a breakage, but certainly that went off on his own. The order, with 4.5 minutes normally to go, it's 35 Josh North the leader, 56 Chris Lawrence in second place, 12 Matt Hipkins is third, 72 Pete O'Connor is in fourth position. Fifth is number 82 Paul Clark, our Class A leader, ahead of number 7 Stephen Richardson. Then it's Joe DePrato, number 29, up into 7th place. 75 Greg Hill is 8th. 9th is the 28 car of Taylor Norton, and Scott Carruthers in the 298 car. He rounds out the top 10 in the former Jan Whittaker car. But with only 4 minutes to go, and still the car not having been recovered from sunning, it is going to need a full lift, I think, because it is one wheel down. I'm not too sure that we're going to get many more racing laps in this, Josh.
Yeah, and this is all Trevor's fault, Trevor Gregory, because he said to me earlier, Clios haven't had a safety car this weekend, so he's the one that put the curse on this race, I think. But it was a very entertaining 10 minutes, wasn't it, before that, it has to be said.
Snatch vehicle is now on scene, as you can see in the inset. Where's the safety car at the moment? It is just coming out of the chicane. They're going to have to get rid of the car momentarily. It's quite close to an exit point from the circuit, which is something. So if we can get it lifted up, hoiked away on the crane on the safe side of the barrier, we could possibly get one more lap in.
Is that what Josh North or Paul Clark want?
It's not what either of those want, to be absolutely honest with you. They would be quite happy to drive past the checkered flag behind the safety car because, for different reasons, Josh North, because he had a 6-second lead that's become nothing, and Paul Clark, because, well, he was under a lot of pressure from Steve Richardson before the safety car came out, and probably doesn't relish trying to soak any more of that up, really.
You'd imagine Josh North should have the pace, because in this race he's been about 3/4 of a second faster than anybody else. But you never know, do you, if you get a one-lap dash. But we'll see if that happens. We saw the rescue snatch vehicle was there.
It's still there. It's not moved yet. It's not taken the car away. I can see that on the circuit's closed circuit television cameras.
It's looking all a bit less likely then at this
stage.
Yes,
I would say so. Obviously, just the difficulty in trying to get the car hooked up. And they're just about to head past it now, aren't they, the safety car train, and there isn't going to be time for one more safety car lap after this, unfortunately. So unless the safety car lights go out imminently, which I'm not sure, the car's airborne now, but I think it's going to be too late.
Is there possibly any damage to the barriers as well?
No, there isn't any damage to the barriers, I'm hearing. They didn't make contact with them, so should be okay from that point of view.
I just saw circuit maintenance were there as well, so that's always a concern, isn't it? But yeah, I don't think these vehicles are going to move in any time frame that is positive for this race to see any more racing. But interesting how, without the need for reverse grids or anything like that, you are going to get 3 different winners, just like last year here at Croft in this championship.
Yeah, so safety car is going to come up to the line with 1 minute to go, and the checker flag's going to be waved. Yes, I thought it might be, so a little bit early, but because we weren't going to get another racing lap, might as well throw the checker flag a little bit early. It's the sensible thing to do, save everyone's time and effort. I think that the snatch vehicle has just gone now, obviously, just a little bit too late. So it's Josh North then that becomes the 3rd different winner this weekend in the VSG Crypto Clio Sport Championship. The number 35 car is the race winner. Chris Lawrence is 2nd, Matt Hipkins is 3rd, and as far as Class A is concerned, Paul Clark, who was at the back of the grid with a 10-second penalty yesterday, wins Class A, and at one point even thought he might win the race overall. Steve Richardson 2nd and Joe DePrato 3rd in that class.
Surely Croft is making a good case to be Paul Clark's favourite circuit, because he's had his real successes here, hasn't he, after that low-cost win a couple of years ago, and now a Clio victory as well. So well done to Paul, well done to Josh North as well. A race win that I think has been coming for a while, ever really since he moved into this ex-Jason Pelosi and Andrew Harding built 197, and he took the victory in round 3 of the championship.
Yeah, let's have a look at confirmation of those results then. It is a win for Joshua North, number 35. 7 laps completed, although a couple of those were behind the safety car, and he won by 8 tenths of a second from number 56 Chris Lawrence. 12 Matt Hipkins was third. In 4th place it was 72 Pete O'Connor. In 5th place 82 Paul Clark. In 6th it was number 7 Stephen Richardson. 7th number 29 Joey DeProto. 8th number 75 Greg Hill. 9th 28 Taylor Norton, and Scott Covers completing the top 10 ahead of Oscar Swanton, Darren Ransom, who had some technical issues with his car, I think, in that race, Christina Lowe and Graham Bishop, who was 14th. There were 3 more that made it to the checkered flag, and those were Brian Craven, Ryan Earl and Steve Croxford. We lost David Redshaw, we lost Mark Witherington, and of course we also lost as well, well, yes, we lost Mark Witherington, and those were all of the starters, weren't they?
Welcome back down to the pit lane. Have a quick word with Joshua North, who's new front end, or same front end but back on after yesterday's adventures, which we'll grab a quick word with him about that in just a moment. So Chris Lawrence as well, which is the first time we've seen Chris Lawrence on the podium this weekend. So Joshua,
hello.
Right, I was just saying about the front end and what happened yesterday, that we had some adventures, and the front end is back on. Is it the same one or is it a new one?
Just about. It's taped up. We got it out, got it scrutineered, it was all safe.
Excellent. Well, incredible move around the outside at Tower, 2 in 1.
Yeah, it was that was the move I needed to make to get away. That was the only option we had, and it worked the way I wanted it to be honest. I think so. Yeah, it was great. Long time coming, this first.
I mean, a shortened race obviously is always a bit of a disappointment when you don't get the full race distance in, but I bet you were pleased to be in the lead and saw that safety car come out and you thought...
We had a comfortable gap. We had a 3-4 second gap. No one was going to catch me from there, and I was just, comfortably going to stay in that position, so happy enough.
Great stuff. Well done. Congratulations. We'll speak to Chris very quickly as well, because first time on the podium this weekend, so how was that one for you?
Better than yesterday. I mean, yesterday was all right. We got the points, but... yeah, we need to be in the top handful every time, really. So, yeah, I was happy with that. Finally got a better start than yesterday. Keeping them 182s is a problem at the start, so that's the main aim, to keep in front of them. But now over the moon, that was a really good race, that one. So we'll look forward to Silverstone in a few weeks' time.
Great stuff. All right, thanks, Chris. We'll move on. We'll speak to Matt very quickly, because the Sportsman Thousands are already gridding up. So, Matt, very quickly talk us through that one, because we want to get over and speak to Paul, because it's his first one this week.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, no, it was a bit of a tough battle to begin with, so I got a good launch off the line and stuff, which was great. So, and then a bit of a battle with Paul trying to get through, and Josh managed to get on the outside. So, but then once we cleared off, then yeah, that was it. Shame to finish under the safety car, but it was a good race. So yeah.
A few podiums this weekend as well, so I've got to be happy with that for the championship. And we've got to speak to the fastest starter in the West, Paul Clark.
Well, that was a bit of luck, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it 8th on the grid?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know what I timed it right. I've never been able to start in a Clio, but that, well...
What did you have for breakfast? Let's start with that.
McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, right, okay, well, that's the breakfast of champions, isn't it?
That's it, it's got to be, innit? No, I'm absolutely over the moon, like I say. The only time I thought I'd be in front of that lot is when they were lapping me, but, yeah, no, it was hard work. I couldn't believe I was there, to be fair, and then, like I say, big shout out to Chris Page and Darren Ransom this weekend. They've worked on that. I had dramas coming up, and they worked on it on the night when I wasn't here, so they've transformed the car, and as you can probably tell, never been that far up in these, but I've absolutely loved that.
Great stuff. Thanks, Paul. Congratulations. First win this weekend, and we'll hand over very quickly to the Nankang Tyre Sports 1000 Championship, who are already on the grid.